Thank you very much. And Julia Fox Garrison joins us in studio. I'm really excited about this interview. Thanks so much, Julia, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get to the story, and there's a lot to get to. There's a lot to get to, especially, I've got to talk about some of the names, too, of the doctors and the nurses, which I got a kick out of. I'd like to share with our audience the meaning of, you have a puzzle piece on each chapter. Why do you have that?
I have a puzzle piece because we're putting all our lives together piece by piece, and I wanted to show that we're not completely whole until we're basically in our grave. Our pieces are all together when we're done here. And my recovery was trying to piece my diagnosis as well. Mm-hmm. I had, it took 4 years before they could give me a true diagnosis of what happened to me.
Mm-hmm. And it was 19 years ago that you had the stroke, so it's been quite a journey.
Yes.
I bet, you know, and your book here, there are many amazing things about your journey of recovery, for which you're very, very grateful for. I can see it written all over your face. Perfect for the holiday that we celebrate as a nation this week. What are some of the things that you've learned to be thankful for during your recovery?
So in the beginning of the book, I'm actually thanking God. I'm on my way to work, and I turn the radio off, and I thank God for the house, the home, and the family, and all the very big things in life. And at the end of the book, I realize that I'm so grateful for the little things, the minutia of independence. Being able to go to the bathroom by myself, being able to feed myself. We don't think about those things, but I lost all those abilities. Even to sit up in bed, I had to be propped up because I had no center of gravity. And I'd slump over like a doll. So my gratitude became that much smaller. Let's greater.
Interesting.
Let's get into the story a little bit. So 19 years ago, you have a 3-year-old son, Rory. You know, a wonderful husband. Your mom's here, over in the corner over there.
She's always with me.
She's always with you. Moms, that's what why moms are so important. What happened? Where were you? What was the circumstance?
So I was at work. I was in the corporate world. I was a software support manager.
Busy, busy, busy.
Busy, busy, multitasking.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the pressure. But I had a cold, and we were in the midst of moving my department, and I had to oversee that. And I was staying in the hotel in Waltham to oversee it. And I took a cold medicine, and about 2 hours later, I was having a volcanic eruption in my head. And evidently, every time my blood pressure pulsed, it was releasing blood in my brain, which went on for hours.
So you hemorrhage.
Yes, I was a massive hemorrhage. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I like to tell people is that if you feel that something's wrong, do not be concerned about what people think. Call an ambulance. I didn't want to cause any scene, and
Sure.
I had the secretary drive me to the hospital.
Mistake.
Yes, because an ambulance, they're required to administer to the ambulance people first, regardless of what's going on as the walk-ins.
And time is of the essence, too.
Yes. Yeah. They've changed a lot of the protocols for stroke, though, since my presenting. Okay. 19 years ago. A lot has changed.
So you get to the hospital. Now, on your trip, what were you feeling? Were you feeling as if you were losing abilities? Were you having, what was happening?
So every time it was I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't think. It was just this eruption inside my skull. And I was telling the person driving me how to get to the hospital, and I'm saying, take a left, I'm dying. Take a right, I'm dying.
So you thought you were dying?
I knew I was dying. I didn't think it.
You knew you were dying.
And I have 8 brothers, no sisters, and you know, my husband, of course. When I got there, I said, call my family, I'm not going to make it.
Well,
and they all came.
So what happened when you realized you're dying? What were you thinking at that moment? The first thing, I'm sure, the family, but what thoughts are in your head at that point? That's scary.
Well, I know.
Devastating.
I've never done it before. So it was, well, the irony is that I didn't have the stroke right away. When I started to convulse, I was in the hallway on a gurney, and all of a sudden I started convulsing and having all kinds of issues. and a nurse ran me. I remember him running me on the gurney down the corridor, and he looked at me and he said, "Grab my fingers." And that's when I had the stroke. I couldn't lift anything on my left side, and I guess before I passed out, he said, "What?" I said, "Am I having a stroke?" And I have to say, I know no one who's had a stroke. It's nothing in my history. And he said, "What? You want to smoke?" And I knew he was doing that to keep me calm instead of saying, you're going to croak. You know, he was just trying to keep me calm. And that's when he got me into a CAT scan and they could see the bleed was massive.
Wow. Now, I can tell you're a very funny person. We've enjoyed being with you before the show, and you're fun to be with right now. Clearly, your sense of humor must have been augmented through this whole process. Do you find yourself becoming a more joyful person in addition to becoming thankful?
Absolutely. I was always a thankful person, but not to this extent. Yeah. I wake up every day now, and I know it's not for granted. I almost died several times since with other complications. And to wake up and know I have another day or a do-over or whatever, I feel so grateful. And, you know, it's thanks God, really. Thanks God, I've got it all. You know, I can function. I have family, like you were saying earlier. I have a big family. We're very tight. And there's not a day that I don't feel gratitude.
You should come back on Friday and talk to us more.
We are. We're going to bring you back Friday, but where could people learn more? If they can't join us Friday, where can people learn more how to get the book?
The book's everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I like to support the independent bookstores. It's Don't Leave Me This Way, or When I Get Back on My Feet, You'll Be Sorry. So there's a little feistiness there. And you can also go to my website and read a little bit more about me at juliafoxgarrison.com.
Very good. Well, Julia, thank you. I look forward to talking to you because we have just hit the tip of this iceberg. We've got a lot more to go over.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Kevin